And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Quick turnaround. I want to roll right now, but glad to be on the main stage on yards per YouTube. So shout out. Thanks, Alex, for letting us take over for the night. But tonight, cover and start sit. We're used to week 4 buys until the week 18. So first, no bye weeks this week, but I'm sure you've got plenty of start sit questions for us.
Yeah, to be honest, sorry, I had to mute the YouTube. The feed was coming in on both sides of my part. Excuse me. It's always a pleasure to be here on the YouTube. Over 1.5K subscribers. We've never had that many people in a show, let alone, watch it at one time. I'm sure not everybody's watching, but it's a huge crowd, huge platform. Let's do it. If you guys didn't happen to catch it, Coach Bruce and Brett, they put on a phenomenal show this morning. They switched it up 8:30 in the morning. Obviously, there's a 9:30 game tomorrow in London.
Yeah.
Then you have Alex going live at 9:45. It's been a pretty good time on yards per, man. Also, too, that short on the Tua Tagovailoa, who I did say dark horse MVP candidate. Hello, 4K views on the short, man. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Let's get into it, man. Start sit week 4, dude. It's crazy though. Can you believe we're in week 4? Like we're in week 4.
It's sad. I mean, you look forward to the full season, and then like as weeks go by, you're like, oh, geez, the numbers are already counting down. I mean, we're already in week 4. This is like a quarter of the season, just about week 4.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So
It just flies by every year. Next thing we'll know, we'll be looking at playoff seeding and things like that. I have so many different start sits. I got trades that need to be talked about. I got
let's say the trades for the end.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I have no problem with that. Guys, if you are here, drop us a comment if you have any start sit questions. Definitely something that this whole podcast is about, especially this one.
Right.
Ryan, are there any tough decisions you need to make in your leagues this week? I'll let you start before I start getting into the fan stuff. Let them get a second to get in here, get everything posted.
Right.
About.
So I guess like the toughest thing I faced week in, week out, and I did it all of last year too, except I kind of lucked out by just starting them. Well, speaking of Daniel Jones, at least, every week in my home league, I bounce between starting in the Russell Wilson or Danny Dimes. And especially this week, I think that's kind of prominent. I mean, you got Russ with the Bears, which should be, I would imagine, a shootout. I hope at least. And then you got Danny Dimes against the Seahawks, who have a pretty bad pass defense so far, even though they were pretty good last year. So I'm kind of struggling with that this week.
Well, if you want my honest opinion, Russ has looked relatively decent as opposed to what we saw last year. He sits at QB9 currently. Shootout with the Bears is everything I want and more on both sides of it. Give me Russ. Let's start with Russ over Danny Dimes, even though the Seahawks defense has let me down, and they did let Andy Dalton throw for over 200 passing yards last week. Adam Thielen had 145. You know what I mean? Yeah. So give me Russ.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. You got anything on your side over there?
I mean, it's pretty rough. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm rebuilding in a couple of leagues, but let's go. All right, you know what? Let's get spicy. Let's do this. I actually really like this question. Battle of the rookie QBs. CJ Stroud against Pittsburgh. Or let's do this. CJ Stroud, who has played exceptionally well. Or Bryce Young against Minnesota, coming off an ankle injury.
Honestly, until I see something out of Bryce Young, I'm going to go CJ Stroud on this one. He's looked at least good as a starting quarterback. I haven't seen that yet out of Bryce Young, to be honest with you. I tend to lean on CJ Stroud until I can see something out of Bryce Young. I'm one of those guys that's like, wait and see until you can start these guys.
Yeah, it's a league that like I rebuilt it rather quickly in my opinion. Jordan Love is my main focal point in this league. But between Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, who I got in the draft this year, it's been a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go. I agree with you. I'm starting Stroud, even though I hate him playing the Steelers defense. I really do. I really hate that matchup for him, especially with Tunsil not playing. But we'll
Right.
go. Let's go there. Uh, let's do this. We got a couple comments coming in here. Matt, good question. Nico or Tank? He posted the second one. Nico or Tank?
We
I'm gonna
just
be honest with
just
you.
spoke on TJ Stroud, so now we have to debate the two receivers.
Let's do this. Nico or Tank Dell? Wow. Wow. We're talking about Tank Dell, who came off a huge game last week, 5 for what, buck 35 and a touchdown. Um, that's tough, man. We're talking about a wide receiver 14 for Tank. Oh, man. Wide receiver 20 for Nico. This is a tough question, man.
I mean, I'll tell you who I lean with is I don't. And this is maybe a little bit of biasy, but I don't love the shorter guy in the situation. I think Nico profiles more as like the alpha in that offense. I get that, like, Tank's pretty good on those like deep routes. He'll get the big chunk plays and all that, but like I don't like to bet on that in fantasy. I'd rather just have Nico, who's kind of got the surefire targets in that offense.
Last week was a down week for Nico. First 2 games, 11 targets,
Yeah,
9 targets. Tank Dell, but he's also had 10 in game 2, 7 in game 3. Um, this is a tough question. I personally am going to lean Nico here, but I think this is very close, and this is a preferential call. At the same time, Tank has really looked good early on, no question about it. Give me Nico for that reason as well. I think it's a very tight decision though. I think they're both played off as like wide receiver 3s this week anyway, with wide receiver 2 upside. We got Delagizi. You think Miles plays? I want to start Shepard. Wants to start Shubba. I'll be honest with you. Um, I didn't really know what to expect with the Miles Sanders addition in Carolina. Obviously, you're taking a huge hit when it comes to the offensive efficiency when playing with the Eagles, and then you're playing with the Panthers. Um, Miles, you know what I mean? It's it's been an inefficient year, but at the same time, he is the most targeted running back in the receiving game.
yeah.
Um, Miles has had this nagging groin injury since the start of the year, so I'm gonna go. I think he plays. I mean, I haven't seen anything to what I mean to say that he didn't practice Friday. That's the question.
He was limited today. I was just looking at it.
He
So
was
I mean,
limited
normally if you
Thursday.
can log a practice before a game,
Yeah,
they really go in what I've seen. Now will he be on a snap count with the groin injury? Maybe. That being said, Chuba's a tough start. I don't know what your roster looks like outside of Chuba, but I think it's risky because I think Miles Sanders gets some play time even if he is limited.
yeah, and the thing is like I want everything to do with like playing against Minnesota in any way possible. Any way possible. I want players in. Um, if Miles plays, you play him. You know what I mean? You drafted him as a running back too. There's no question about that. But you you have to play him. You have to play him. I
I
mean,
think
am
he
I
was trying to
crazy in
start
saying
Chubb.
that?
I don't think he owns Sanders.
He wants to start. Yeah, maybe he doesn't. I do think Miles plays. I have Miles only in one league, and I'm starting him. He's in my starting lineup now, so you have to go. You have to play that. That's a. I don't know, man. I wish I had like all the injury designations and everything. You know what I mean? Let's do this one. This one's pretty good. Pick 3, Ryan.
Oh, geez. I think I need a pen
Right.
and paper for this. Go ahead.
You ready to lay him out? Kamara
Well, hold
versus
on.
Tampa
Let's
Bay.
let's just real quick. Della just came in. He said the other options were
I can pick up
Jalen Warren,
Jalen,
Matt
Breida,
Breida.
Charbonnet, or Kelly. Oh man, that's also a tough thing. He said he
I
wants to
mean,
start Charbonnet.
it's all RB2s in their respective offenses. Outside of Kelly, who is probably starting, but I mean, even when
Yeah,
he's
Eckler's
starting,
out.
he's pretty
Eckler's out.
inefficient.
If if Miles does play, honestly, I know Kelly has been abysmal these last 2 weeks, but you need a guy who's going to be in from snap one. Give me out of this list, give me Kelly, but I don't like this list in general.
Yeah, sounds like you got beat up early, early for a running back, or just neglected him like me. I mean, either way, but I mean, I guess if I had to pick, Kelly has, like you said, he'll be out there on the field the most, at least. I mean, given he's been very inefficient, but like, I rather have the guy that's going to be on the field 60, 70% of the time than a guy that's going to be out there 30 or
Yeah,
40.
and honestly, the only reason I'm saying that is because I don't want Matt Breida to be my saving grace on Monday Night Football. That's my opinion.
It is the Seahawks.
It is, man. But I mean, personally, like
Right. Yeah.
the Giants have not. There's no expectation here for me, to be honest. For you boys at all, there's none.
Easy now.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just being honest with you. Just being honest.
All right. You can get into your 3-piece nugget that you had for me earlier.
You ready? Kamara versus Tampa Bay. Zach Moss versus the Rams. Javante at Chicago. Ford versus Baltimore. A. Shane at Buffalo.
Good Lord have mercy. First of all, I just want to say, coming out of suspension, I'm a little concerned about throwing Kamara out there week one, especially against Tampa, who's pretty stingy against the run. So I tend to avoid that. I mean, I think you have. I mean, do you have to start A-Chain at this point? I mean, it's against Buffalo, who's a little bit tougher defense than we saw.
to be honest, when we like when
Real
we
quick, the only must start I say was probably Zach Moss. I mean, he's had a great season so
oh
far.
no
Why keep the
no
ball rolling with Zach
oh
Moss?
no my must start's Javante on this list. Javante is a must start for me.
Well, that's 2 out of 3. I mean, I agree with you on Javante. If he's going to have a good
Yeah,
game, this is probably going to be it.
yeah. Javante is my start here. And honestly, from what I saw last week, Jerome Ford to me, 2 touchdowns last week. Obviously, it wasn't efficient. Jerome Ford's on this list for me. Javante's on this list for me. And if I had to pick one, yeah, I'm gonna start Zach Moss. I'm leaving A Shane and I'm leaving Kamara on the bench for 1 week. I mean, you got to remember too, like this game in Miami and Denver opened up a lot of opportunity for A Shane. Um, it was a crazy game, and like I said, I know the 260 is huge. It's a huge game, 4 touchdowns. I know that. What I mean, but
Rare. Yeah.
that's a very rare type of game. Week 2 and week 1, no, really no volume. It's Raheem Mostert's backfield. Um, I don't like any team going against Buffalo in the run game anyway, to be honest. I mean, I know they're outside the top 10. They come in at 11 when it comes to rushing defense and rushing yards allowed. But no, I'm
Yeah.
going to avoid those two. Give me Javante, give me Zach Moss, and give me Jerome Ford.
Real quick, if you want to highlight Cy over here with the 499, appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that too,
He
buddy.
said Travis Etienne, Josh Jacobs, Jerome Ford, Devon A-Chain, and Damian Pierce. So we got a
Thanks,
couple
thanks,
guys on
Danny.
there we just touched on in our last pick 'em.
ETN, 100%. No
Yeah,
question.
I think you
ETN.
throw. I think I'm a big start your studs guy, so I think
Yeah,
I immediately go ETN and Josh Jacobs.
yeah. The question comes down here. Whew. Damian Pierce, been a little rough to start. Did score last week though, so let's. Steelers D, we're not very good on the run. We're very soft when it comes to the run. We don't set the edge very well. We just talked about A Chain and Jerome Ford. I think your top three, obviously, you start your studs. So to ETN Jacobs, and I'm going to take Jerome Ford on this list.
I take Ford. I mean, I'm starting A Chain in some leagues, but I'm kind of hampering my expectations. You didn't really see him in rotation until towards the end of the game when they were really putting it on him. So tough to expect back to back insane games at A Chain. So I'll take the top three as well. Now watch A Chain go out there and
Yeah,
bust
watch A
out
Chain
for
get 20
another
carries, right?
180.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, they're special players. Him and
Right,
Mostert look great
right.
last week. And like I said, if Miami's going to win this game at Buffalo is the game where Tua can solidify himself as that QB that we all think he is.
Yeah,
It's not going to be done in the run game. It's not. Waddle's back. Waddle clear concussion protocol. This
yeah.
game is going to be won through the air. That's what it's going to be.
I mean, I think it has to be against Buffalo in the first
Right.
game.
Now, like I said, I know the receiving profile stands out for both. I do. So yes, there's a possibility of them exploding in that area. But other than that, it's gonna be one through the air. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a comment here. Should I bench Jacoby Myers for the likes of Pickens or Michael Thomas? I gotta leave my bias out of this, man, because I'm telling you, I'm leaving my bias out of this because Pickens is my guy on this list, no question.
You got no faith against the Texans?
No, Pickens is my guy. I'm starting Pickens. What do you mean? even with
Um,
even with Jalen Petrie roaming back there in center field, no Derek Stingley. Derek Stingley's on IR, bro. Give
yeah,
me Pickens. Give me Pickens. We can't run the ball. Our run game looks awful. Give me Pickens.
yeah. I'm with Pickens. I don't really know. Honestly, I think I'd probably start Thomas and Pickens before I started Myers, if I'm being honest with you. I
Right.
say that, I say that, but they are playing the Chargers this week, who have, I believe, given up the most yards out of any team through the air.
Minnesota. Then
Oh,
them.
that's Minnesota does? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they're down there towards the bottom,
Yeah,
but
they're pretty bad.
yeah, they're not
They're pretty
great.
bad.
So, I mean, Garoppolo could have a field day, but I would imagine most of that goes towards Adams more so than Myers.
Right. I will say though, man, Michael Thomas is drawing
He's
solid target volume. It's just he's just playing around the line of scrimmage. He's I mean, there's no extension of the field, none of that. He's only had one game over 10 yards per target. Um, yeah, give me Pickens. An
yeah,
explosion waiting to happen. An
yeah.
explosion waiting to happen. We got another one here. We got Tank Dell or DJ Moore. Wow. And I love DJ Moore.
You know what's before we get into this, you know what's crazy is even me before this season, I think we kind of expected DJ Moore and Justin Fields to click immediately, kind of like you saw with Diggs and Allen and Hurts and AJ Brown. That's it hasn't happened as quickly as we thought. A lot of people are already panicking, and you see it already. Tank Dell, DJ
Right.
Moore coming up,
Right.
but I think it's a legitimate question. I really do.
Yeah, it's a legit question. And I'm gonna be honest with you. DJ Moore week 2, 100-yard game, looked really good. Exploded on the scene. Week
Yeah,
1 was a little spotty. Week 3, we talked about it. He didn't look good until the garbage time touchdown. He had 3 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. I'm gonna be honest, man. If there's any way for Justin Fields to salvage any kind of
yeah,
fantasy relevancy, it's this week. This is it. I mean, you got two games over 200 passing yards. You go down to a game where he's under the century mark last week in Kansas City. They looked bad. They looked
yeah.
really bad last week.
I think if they're gonna do it, it's definitely gonna be this week. I think I would give DJ Moore one more week, given it is the Broncos who just gave up a whopping 70 points. Given his two totally different offenses, I mean, obviously Miami's way more power than what the Bears are, but I think you're gonna see this duo or this stack, whatever you want to call it, click in eventually. And I think this could be a game where you can see Justin Fields kind of like get into a rhythm for the first time all season, maybe. So I think I'm taking DJ Moore maybe a little bit cautiously, but
I gotta disagree, but I'm taking Tank Dell.
I'm taking Tank
I'm
Dell.
taking Tank Dell, bro. I gotta disagree, man. I have to disagree. I'm gonna go Tank Dell here. If he draws Joey Porter Jr. all day long, so be it. Whether that be Nico or where Tank, you know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care. Give me Tank though.
Dang dog.
Maddie's back. We got Pickett or Mayfield. So the question is, so let's answer this question with a question. It's the New Orleans week. How long before Mike Evans gets thrown out of the game? How long before Marshawn Lattimore and them start throwing punches? Can I get an over under on that? That's my question.
You want quarters?
No, I think we might not get out of the first half. Like,
You want a hot take? I think they squashed the beef.
stop. Those two hate each other. If you guys are here, please tell me how long before Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore get thrown out of this game. That's my question.
Yeah.
Pickett or Mayfield? I don't like New Orleans defense, man. Like, I mean, I like them. Like, I don't like any like QBs playing them. They're tough. I mean, they're always a sneaky tough defense. I'm gonna honestly lean Pickett here. It's tough.
I mean,
It's
for
tough.
me, this feels quite literally kind of like a toss up.
Yeah, this is a toss up. I mean, like, just give me Pickett playing Houston's 29th ranked pass defense. Give me that.
Pickett hasn't looked good since preseason.
First two touchdown game last
True.
week.
True. Yeah, no. Saints.
No, granted, I know he played the Eagles. He just looked. They looked outmatched all night long, except for that drive where Mike Evans had that phenomenal catch. Phenomenal catch, by the way. Yeah, give me Pickett.
Steelers bias, in my opinion. I think I'm starting Mayfield. Mayfield looks like he's kind of back into form.
Last week he did. You sure? He looked good in Philly. All right, no.
I mean, he won.
He didn't win. They lost. They didn't beat the Eagles.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. My bad. Good Lord have mercy.
Matt Breida or Khalil Herbert? This is so tough because I want Roschon Johnson to be the guy.
I think he is the guy. It's just a matter of when he takes the backfield, because right now it still is Herbert's job technically. I mean, we've seen Roschon snap share increase week in, week out since week one. He is starting to take over the backfield. I mean, I got love for Khalil, Virginia Tech alumni, big Virginia Tech guy over here. Who are the Giants playing the Seahawks? And you got Khalil Herbert against the.
Tough question. But also, too, remember, Saquon Barkley supposedly practiced in limited capacity. I doubt Barkley plays on a high ankle sprain.
I don't think Saquon plays. No.
Now listed as doubtful as what the update says. Yeah. So give it to Matt Breida on the backfield.
I guess, yeah, but sure, Matt Breida. Why not? I mean, I hate saying that because I stated last podcast that Breida is not someone I'm going after and actively starting unless it's an emergency situation. But I think in this case, it might be an emergency situation.
I think I'm going Breida.
Yeah,
I think I'm going Breida.
I agree.
I think I go Breida. We got a trade question.
You want to knock a trade out?
Let's do it. Trade Ramondre and D-Hop for Waddle and Najee. Heard Steelers might trade for JT and send Najee to Colts. Even if it doesn't go to the Colts, I'm not big on running backs. Yeah. In this trade, Waddle's the best player in this trade.
Yeah, I read it wrong the first time. I would just take Waddle and go. I think now
I want no parts of Tennessee's offense at all. And I know it's D-Hop. I know it's an illustrious Hall of Fame caliber career. The Titans look bad. The Titans look very, very bad. Give me Waddle and Najee side here.
I'd take Waddle and Najee. And even if I don't know. You can't really believe everything you said. There's so much smoke that goes up in the air. So I would kind of ignore the JT to the Steelers talks for now. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of other teams that are also in on him. But even if he did get traded, I still take best player in drafts. I think that's definitely Waddle.
I remember this too. JT is going to a pay year. We don't pay running backs at all. Yeah, the last running back we paid any kind of contract to was Jerome Bettis. Willie Parker gone in the fourth year. Le'Veon, obviously, remember the Le'Veon situation in Mendenhall. I can keep going down this list. We don't pay running backs. JT will not be a Steeler. If anything, JT is going to be in Miami before this is all said and done.
Okay,
No, I mean,
that.
it makes the most sense.
But yeah, I think you take Waddle in that trade and just kind of have Najee, I guess. I mean, that's all you really have him for right now. He's been playing just
If Najee disappoints this game, because obviously we had it pegged as he was going to have a stronger game against Vegas. I don't know what else to say, bud.
yeah.
I mean, like, granted, like if you watch the game and watch the breakdown, like he was getting hit in the backfield a lot, and we're playing the Raiders. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is different. You know what I mean? I know you have Max Crosby setting the edge on one side, but Tyree Wilson has a 0% win percent, win percentage on his defensive snaps this year. It's just bad. Obviously, no Chandler Jones. He's going through what he's going through. I mean, now granted, Divine Diablo flies around the field, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
no,
that boy's on one. But I don't know, man. It was just a big game that was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. I don't know what's going on with Najee or the Steelers' offensive line. We made those upgrades, and it hasn't clicked.
Right.
Josh Kelly, Matt Breida, or Roshan Johnson, half PPR. This is a tough scene because, like I said, man, Kelly has disappointed massively after his solid game. You know what I mean? It has been massive disappointment in week 2, week 3.
Mm-hmm.
This comes down to I want the guy who's involved with the best offense in this opinion. I'm going to go Kelly, even though I don't like I don't like all three.
I don't. Yeah. This is, I guess, easy for you to hear as a Chargers fan, but I think you start Kelly in this situation. I know. Trust me. I haven't been burned on him, but I've had plenty of people in the community disappointed in Joshua Kelly. They have definitely gone more towards the pass with Justin Herbert in Eckler's absence, and they should respectively.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Kelly's 100% in the better offense. I expect there's this game between the Raiders and Chargers, at least for the Chargers to put up a good amount of points in this game. So I think you got a shot. Kelly gets in the end zone at some point in the game, unless he gets snaked. I actively hate Matt Breida as a Giants fan, and I just don't think Roshan's quite there yet.
Yep, so. I agree. We got another trade question there, Dilly. Mostert or Waddle? Oh my god! Wow, the Raheem Mostert love. I love it. Running back 1, by the way, almost 28 points.
He is running back 1. I was about to say.
Balling.
I mean, if you would have looked at this in the first week of the season, even
if this
Mostert or Waddle trade was anything even spoken into existence, it would be wildfire in the league. So to see it, I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, Waddle kind of not really been that involved, and you got Raheem Mostert, actual RB1, 31 years old, out there running like he's 23.
Now my question is, what roster construction plays a huge part into this for me? This is a huge question for me when it comes like as a roster construction. Mostert wasn't drafted early, so is this like, because this obviously has to be a guy who lost running backs, or just has so much running back depth that he needs a wide receiver, right?
That's what I'm kind of assuming is like he drafted Mostert late in the rounds, and now he's kind of in a hole at receiver. Probably has too many running backs,
right?
So I mean, if that's the case,
realistically, we all know Tyreek Hill is playing out of his mind, which we all expected.
Yeah.
But we also remember Jalen Waddle, wide receiver 8, wide receiver 10, back-to-back seasons, has gotten better. I love Waddle. This is another bias. I have Waddle is my flag on my dynasty wide receivers. You know what I mean? I love this guy. I'm taking Waddle. I got to take Waddle. I have to.
Here's the thing. I don't think the Dolphins are going to go away from. I don't think the Dolphins are going to go away from the run, especially late in games when they can run the score up. It's really hard for me as an active Waddle hater um, to admit this, but I don't know how much longer this can keep up for Mostert. He does have a rookie behind him. I kind of expect them to go more towards like a split and towards the middle end of the season, especially after the Dolphins saw what A-Chain is capable of. I guess give me Waddle, and I'm assuming he would bounce back. He very much is an up or down guy, but he's definitely going to win you some weeks, especially if you're loaded at running back and you need a receiver, which I'm assuming what the case is here. I think take the receiver.
Yeah, for sure. I think this one's pretty easy for me too. Mixon, Michael Thomas, or Kirk. I'm gonna be honest with you. The London game, I want no parts of anybody on the Jags. Um, let's be clear with that. They looked bad in Houston last week. The Falcons' defense is much improved. Michael Thomas against Tampa Bay, relatively another strong defensive unit. I think it's
Yeah.
Mixon. I think it's Mixon.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on this one. I think you roll with Mixon. And I know that it's tough to say that confidently because the Bengals have been so rough to start the season. But
I mean, they don't have an easy matchup. If anything, Tennessee does well. It's defend the run.
they do.
But if anybody has a chance to get in the end zone this week, it's Mixon.
Yeah, I'm with Mixon.
Let's do this. Thoughts on Zay Flowers' tough matchup? Let's be honest. AFC North matchups they're tough. Welcome to the North. This is what it is. It's tough football. If this kid's going to make a name for himself, which he has done already, these are the games. These are the type of games where he has to have big games. I'm going to be honest with you. In the last 2 years, Mark Andrews doesn't have a game over 10 fantasy points against Cleveland. It's a thing where they like to shut him down. He's a main focal point when it comes to stopping somebody on the offensive side of the ball. I'm starting Mark Andrews, obviously, because it's Mark Andrews. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
But we're talking about a guy in Zay Flowers who has 25 targets in 3 games.
that's what I was.
It's a focal point to get Zay Flowers the ball. We all know Odell's been banged up. Rashad Bateman now banged up. I honestly don't hate this matchup as much as most do for Zay Flowers, even though I know Cleveland is a very good defense.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't really faced any great receivers other than Jamar Chase in week 1, and they pretty much shut him down. Outside of that, they played Pittsburgh, who's no real superstar. I mean, you can say that you expect like Zay Flowers to play around the same level as like maybe like a George Pickens or something. But like you said, I think the target's going to be there. It's just like a matter of 1, how many he can catch, and 2, what he can do with after the ball. I mean, at the end of the day, the Browns are the best against the running. Excuse me, best against receivers in fantasy this year. Not a matchup you're going to look forward to if you're actively starting Zay Flowers, but I still think he'll get his targets. What he does with them, I'm not sure. He hasn't had a week under 10 points in most scoring, so I mean, 10 points isn't something you actively seek after, but I think he'll be right around that.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? Keep or trade? Dynasty, keep. We speak a huge
keep.
amount on Dynasty. Redraft, I don't know what you're going to get for him because this is the Le'Veon Bell situation all over again. For me.
I was going to say, I think no matter either Dynasty or redraft, at this point you have to keep. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere near the draft capital you spent on him for end of the season when nobody really knows what he's going to do. So you're probably not going to get much for him. I would just keep him. I mean, it is what it is.
And see, it depends on when you drafted him. Because if you were drafting early in the summer where you had to take him in the back end of the first, early second, like this hurts. This really hurts. Yeah. Now, if you were the guy, a week before the season, he's not playing to start, he's on PUP, and you got him in round 8, round 9, okay. You can realistically live with that as long as your team has stayed relatively healthy. So it depends. It depends too, because I have him in the Scott Fish Bowl, and he's killing me in the Scott Fish.
Mm-hmm. Same. Yeah, I also have him in Scott Fish. So
So
Pray for me.
I had to eat that I drafted him in the second round, and here we are.
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like draft capital, though, I was kind of referring more towards dynasty. I'm stuck in my dynasty head. I forget that even in redraft he slid down boards. But I still think you keep him. Just let it
Yeah,
ride.
I do too.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 3, Godwin or Jacoby Myers? Godwin.
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 And we kind of touched on it earlier. You see an ejection of Mike Evans. I mean, that's the one. His streak did get broken last week, but before that, Godwin had I think a franchise record 16 straight games with 5 or more catches. I expect him to still be involved. It was rough last week against the Eagles. Yeah, I'd give me Godwin.
Yeah, and I know he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet, but that's going to change.
It's got to happen eventually, right? It's not going to end the season
Right.
with no touchdowns.
Like I said, it's Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans week, baby. Start Sutton, Flowers, or A-Chain. Sheesh. I might sound
Okay, we got a whole lot of A-Chain on these questions.
Bro, I might sound crazy. My man's been in the end zone twice. Give me Cortland. Give me Sutton. Against the Bears? Yes.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Give me Sutton.
I think give me Sutton in this situation. Like we just touched on Flowers. He got such a tough matchup. I think I'd rather start Sutton. And kind of like I touched on A-Chain before. It's like that was a freak game. All right. I don't think we're going to see anything close to that for us this season out of A-Chain. I think if you didn't start him last week, you probably missed his peak. So that being said,
I'd say 265 plus scrimmage yards is a big game.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns. I mean, holy hell.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, give me Sutton here. Another trade. Cup. Who, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When do we see Cup? You never want your 30-year-old wide receiver 1 in Minnesota with a specialist when it comes to an injury. And dude, if you can trade Cup for Swift and Mixon and you need running back help and you still have Amon-Ra and Chase, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Going back, just for the record, I didn't realize this. It said no Jimmy G in that last question. I didn't realize Jimmy G wasn't playing until just now.
It's very close because
okay.
Yeah, he has been officially ruled. So yeah. Give me Swift and Mixon.
Hold on. I trade Cup for Swift and Mixon. My receivers are Monra, Chase. My RBs are JT. Randoms. Randoms. And Stevenson.
Yep.
God, I mean, it's Jesus, Lord have mercy. How do you walk away from a draft with Cup, Monra, and Chase is insane to me. Given Cup slid because of, obvious reasons, but I think if you're in that desperate of a situation for running backs, it seems like right now all you have is Stevenson. I think Swift looks very good in this Eagles offense, and that offensive line is opening up massive holes, and I expect the Bengals to click eventually. I think I'd take their running backs.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Not even a question. I want nothing to do with Cup.
I can't say that myself.
Philly or Kansas City D.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Eagles got the Commanders, so right off rip. I mean, God bless. And then Chiefs versus the Jets. I mean, both of them were great streaming options. Here's what I'll say. I think that Zach Wilson looks horrible. So me naturally, I just say go with the Chiefs defense. I know Sam Howell isn't exactly the best quarterback either, but that offense with Zach Wilson just looks abysmal. So I'll take any defense going against the Jets.
Honestly, I don't think it gets any worse than the performance that Sam Howell and the Commanders had last week against Buffalo. That was
it? What do you have? 4 picks?
4 picks, 9 sacks, pick 6. The fumble lost. Yeah, it was bad.
It's bad.
Um, and remember, this Phillies defense, this Philly defense led the NFL in sacks last year, and Hassan Reddick has not had a sack yet.
You expecting that to change?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Give me the team. Give me the team that has the worst offensive line in the two situations, two scenarios. Give me Philly.
They were split on that one. Zach Wilson is just so horrible, dude. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a situation where you already have both of them rostered. I guess in some situations, I mean, waivers are pretty much ran through at this point, so I don't think you can go wrong with either one.
Yeah, I think they're both great matchups.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have them both. If I have to, make a list, they're both my top 5 for defenses for the week. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that one. So instead of trading Sutton for D Hop, actually, I think Sutton holds more redraft value than D Hop right now. Anyway.
So what if I have to trade Sutton instead of Dia? Oh, and that trade from before.
Yeah, I still take the best player in the deal, Waddle. I still take Waddle.
So it'd be Ramondre and Sutton, Waddle and Najee. I love how this trade talks is actively pursuing during this little segment we got going on.
Yeah, hey
which
man,
is
makes
hilarious
sense.
to me.
I love the trade.
But yeah, I think Waddle's still the best player in the deal. I still think go ahead and continue on. If that's the final trade that he wants, I say just pay it.
Pick 2 for flex: Michael Thomas, D Hop, Tank Dell, Ramondre, Addison, Sutton. Off rip, I'm already taking Ramondre as my one. I'm already taking Ramondre here.
We're picking 2. Oh shit! So
2.
Michael Thomas, D Hop, Tank Dell, Ramondre, Addison, Sutton. I want nothing to do with D Hop, or well, not just D Hop. That whole Titans offense. Michael Thomas. So really, for me, I agree with you on Ramondre. So it comes between Tank Dell, Addison, and Sutton for me.
I'm taking Sutton.
Man. Part of me kind of wants to Tank Dell as the second, but I think Sutton is going to bring in another touchdown. Not to say Tank won't, but I think I'm going Ramondre Sutton. You know what's funny is just real quick regarding this segment, a lot of these people in this YouTube are seeing us for the first time.
Yeah.
And the first show we do is a start sit. A lot of these people might come back and hate us.
You're right. But I'm telling you right now, these questions, and the matchups that we're getting here are we've talked about a lot of players a lot already, but these are tough. You know what I mean? Why can't I get a Justin Jefferson or you know what I mean? Can I get one of those questions?
Well, that's what these questions are for, man. I mean, you gotta understand
I know, no, it's cool. It's cool. But what I'm saying is these are tough. I mean, you gotta think, Ramondre, my man's in Dallas. He's at Dallas. And granted, I know they played terrible against Arizona last week. James Conner had a great game, but I don't expect that back-to-back weeks. I don't. But I want nothing to do with D Hop. You know what I mean? Tank Dell, shining star, looks good. Addison, you know what I mean? Very limited target opportunity, but has scored in multiple games this year. Sutton scored in multiple games this year. You know what I mean? This is tough.
Yeah,
but I think you have to take the running back here with with the receiving upside that Ramondre has. I know it's been a rough start. The Patriots, when it comes to when the defenses they're facing for the rushing defenses, they're tough. It's a tough year.
Yeah.
It is. Start 2, Kamara, Swift, Mostert, or Connor. Swift, I'm automatically starting.
Okay. No, it's half PPR, so that makes it a little bit easier for me. I think Connor is a vital part of this Cardinals offense.
So you have Arizona at San Fran.
Because the Dolphins
I think it's Swift Mostert.
Dolphins are playing the Bills.
I think it's Swift.
Yeah, it's Swift Mostert. I take it back. I'm sorry.
It's Swift Mostert for me.
Yeah. We got Brian with the next question.
2 questions, actually. Back-to-back questions. Start sit for my running back slot. So I'm assuming here, Brian, if you can, let me know, do I have do I have two running backs to pick from for this list, or am I picking one? If I'm picking one, I'm going. God sake, my boy ETN gonna be mad at me. I gotta go Swift, dude. This Philly O line, the holes that it's creating up front, what Swift is doing behind this O line, he looks explosive. I think it's Swift here if I'm picking one.
That's such a crazy list. See, me personally, I'm starting Mostert till the wheels fall off, though. If I can only pick one of those guys, I mean, Mostert's been fucking crazy.
The matchup, like I said, I know Washington's tough up front, but like I just don't. The Bills game is the game that scares me. I've told you that for a week now.
Yeah,
I'm not fading my opinion. Give me Swift. Dude,
that's crazy.
What Philly and what Swift and they have done these last 2 weeks since he's earned this role has been nuts. Granted, I know the tush push is a huge thorn in your side as Swift owners. It is a huge thorn in your side.
Push.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy how much opportunity he gets, and then they get down to the one, and what happens? No Swift, none, no,
Nope.
not even a thing.
No, he's actually pushing Jalen Hurts for the touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. Give me Swift. Give me Swift. If I have to choose, if it's just one, I got to take one. It's Swift.
Yeah, Brian. Next question is it's a tough one for you. Jimmy G is not suiting up. That's not up in the air anymore. And I think, yeah, you should absolutely hamper expectations. I'm not even sure off the top of my head if I even know who the Raiders' backup quarterback is.
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, see,
I don't hamper any expectations for Devontae Adams. I don't tamper any expectations for Hall of Fame wide receivers. Obviously, you're going to bump him down a couple of slots when it comes to
yeah,
your ranking.
yeah,
But if you own Adams, he's in your lineup. Now, Jacoby Myers, all right, you can take him out. That's fine. I have no
yeah.
problem with that.
Pull Myers. I mean, I think normally as like Devontae Adams, somebody any week in, week out can put up top 5 receiver numbers. I don't think he's capable of that this week. By hampering my expectations, I'm literally don't think that he'll sit inside the top 10 wide receivers this week. And then Myers, yeah, you can go ahead and bench.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Last year when Derek Carr got pulled in week 14, was it week 14 or week 15?
For what? I'm sorry.
When Derek Carr got pulled in week 14 or week 15?
I think it was week 15. I don't think was it even week 15? I thought it was like end of the season.
It was close to it. I think it was like 15.
Okay.
But either way, what I'm saying is the volume is always going to be there for Devontae Adams. When somebody's as open and can create separation to the ability of Devontae Adams and can play the ball like that, it's Devontae Adams, man. You tamper expectations because you have him as a top 5 wide receiver every week. Maybe he's not a top 5 wide receiver this week. Maybe he's like 12. Okay, you're starting.
Right.
Should I trade JT for Metcalf or Kittle? Yes. If you can get DK Metcalf or George Kittle for him, yes. Yes.
That's one of those trades that can end up blowing up in your face if he does get back and playing. I don't really know what the whole situation is with the Colts. Like, are they starting JT when he's healthy off the pup? Or are they just gonna sit him? Because if that's up in the air still. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not up to date on the situation. I stopped keeping track of it. It's a nightmare. I own too much JT. It's so rough, dude. But like we said earlier, I mean, if you can get value for him, which I think Metcalf and Kittle both offer, I don't think it's the end of the world.
And I know
you can get a little bit of weight off your shoulders if you trade JT.
Yeah, and I know Ayuk is playing this week. I know Debo is injured too, and they say they're optimistic about him. Honestly, give me Metcalf if I can get either one of them.
Yeah, well, Metcalf over Kittle. Yeah, guess I should have clarified that.
Start two. Henry, Najee, Stevenson, or Ford. E.
E E.
E.
For me, it's relatively easy for me. I know avoid Titans offense, but I mean it's still Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So I'm starting Henry and I'm starting Stevenson. Ironically, the only two that are capitalized, but Najee looks rough and Jerome Ford. Yeah, I mean the touchdowns are nice last week, but can it keep up? I like Stevenson's receiving upside, and then I'm all for Henry having a bounce back.
Yeah, it comes with volume. If there's any running back that's going to see 15 plus touches in a game and can do something with it, it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
We're talking about one of the best running backs we've seen over the last 6 years. Yeah, Ramondre here too. Najee and Henry, or Henry and Ramondre. Yeah.
yeah.
Danny Dimes or Dak. Phew. New England's tough, man. Christian Gonzalez looks good, by the way. Can we notate that? Christian Gonzalez looks good.
Looks
Good.
legit. I mean, as somebody who was watching the draft, watching him slide and slide and slide.
We traded with the Patriots to get Broderick Jones, and then he still fell to New England.
Crazy.
And you know what's crazy? Can we also say something? Do we know that Bill Belichick is a genius? My man J.C. Jackson, best DB in the league, talked about in that kind of format, and that he signs an $82.5 million contract, and my man's a healthy scratch last week. Like,
It's Bill Belichick. I mean, the same thing happened. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Stephon Gilmore when he left the Patriots.
no. Gilmore's a lot better than J.C. Jackson.
I mean, for sure, but I mean, you could notice a significant fall off when Gilmore was with the Pats versus after.
This is a
Andrew
tough
Jones
question,
or
man.
Dak?
Danny Dimes playing the 22nd ranked pass defense. Jamal Adams is back this week too.
Keep in mind, if you're starting Daniel Jones on a Monday, you probably will be sweating him to get you a good amount of points. Like I said previously, Seahawks not the greatest pass defense this year. They're in the bottom 5. You got that going for you, but Daniel Jones has looked pretty rough outside of
So is
the
Dak.
Arizona game.
Dak does not have a QB. He hasn't finished as a top 15 QB either, man.
No,
He's 17, 18.
no.
Man, give me Daniel Jones. Give me Daniel Jones. Give me
That team
rushing
is
upside.
pushed towards the run more so than I thought.
Give me the rushing upside of Danny Dimes
Danny
to win you
Dimes.
with the league, to win you with his legs. That's tough. That's a good question.
New England, man. They're going to take your best player.
Not much roster room. Half PPR, so I drop Ertz or Josh Downs for Jake Ferguson. I'm not dropping Downs. I actually like what I see from Downs. Downs looks pretty solid in his role.
The other tight end is Big Rig Hig.
I'm not going to drop Downs. I actually like Downs. What I've seen from Downs as well. Downs is the wide receiver too of the Indianapolis Colts. It is not Alec Pierce.
Hmm.
And you have Jake Ferguson.
I think Ertz is droppable.
He's tight end 14. Ferguson is tight end 11. I mean, we all know too. He's got 2 games of 7 targets, but we all know that the top after the top 6 tight ends, things get dicey.
Right.
To me, it's like I compare it to the fantasy football or the fantasy baseball, the catcher position. If you don't have an elite one, it doesn't really matter. If you want to own Ferguson, I'm dropping Ertz.
Yeah.
To be honest.
If you're actively shopping him. And if you're watching the Cowboys week in, week out, you can see when things break down, Dak is looking for the tight ends. Ferguson.
But I am going to say this. Zach Ertz out targets Jake Ferguson.
Right.
Obviously we all think the Dallas Cowboys offense is better than the Arizona Cardinals, but to be honest, the Arizona Cardinals do not look as bad as what everybody thought they were going to look.
Yeah, we touched on that last podcast. Let's not go down that hill again.
Oh, Ryan, good. Pick 2 running backs in that slot. He got distracted. Yes. So can we go back? So I'm already picking Swift. And to be honest, I already told you the Falcons matchup is tough on a 9:30 a.m. game. But between me, it's got to be your studs, right? I mean, so Swift is my one here. Swift is my one. Oh my god. I like the involvement in the passing game this year too for ETN. You gotta get he's averaging over 15 points per game. I know people want me to say Mostert here, but again, the Bills game scares the shit out of me, to be honest.
I think it should for most people.
It does. But the Falcons game, I told you I don't like the Jags are a tough start, especially what I saw in Houston going against a significantly upgraded team in Atlanta on the road in London. Nah, give me ETN. It's gonna be ETN. Yep.
I already had Mostert in. I think my second would still probably be ETN. I think so. If we're getting anything from this, I'd say just start ETN. Like I said, involved in the pass game.
Yep.
Tank
We're
Bigsby's
split.
not so far what everybody expected him to be. He did hawk a touchdown last week, but give me ETN.
Yeah, ETN for sure. Who looks good as a stud as what you have. Guy averaging over 15 points per game. He looks good, even though the Jags in general don't. Jacobs does not. He does not look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, you're gonna have to decide on your part because we're split here. He has Mostert, I have Swift. All right, let's get back to it. Start two. Dude, Puka Nacua finally had a down game. Five catches, 72 yards. I love it. And that's a down game.
So for me, I'll just shoo.
If the Bills are going to win this game, it's going to be through the air.
Yeah. Well,
Give me Waddle.
if
Waddle is
you
for
mean
sure.
if the Dolphins are going to win through the game,
The Dolphins are going to win this game
Yeah.
through the air. Excuse me. Yep.
Yeah.
Give me Waddle.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna continue to start the studs on this. I know Nakua is off to an insane start. Give me Devonta, whatever, and Jalen Waddle. Those are the two I'm starting.
I will say this. Devontae looks good too in the first 3 weeks. Obviously, I know AJ Brown had a takeover game last week where he even dropped 2 touchdowns. But if you don't start Devontae or Waddle and they blow up,
you're gonna hate
yourself for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
we gotta have a cutoff time. I got works in the morning, my brother. You want to stop 9:45?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Do I start A-Shane over Derrick Henry this week? No. Unfortunately, no.
No, not yet. I don't know if you're here previous in the podcast, but A-Chain got a lot of those touches when they were already up big. I still think Mostert's probably the guy on offense. I think until you see A-Chain start to get the ball over Mostert, I'm going Henry in this case. I know Henry had a rough game, a lot of bitterness in your mouth, but end of the day, Henry's still a freak, and that'll probably be his worst game of the season last week.
Do you think Warren will take over from Najee at any stage this season? I guess this is my question. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, so here's what we're
out of this one.
if you look at any of the past Steelers, it's always been a run heavy offense with the ability to throw the ball. We're very loyal to our running backs, very loyal to our starting running backs. Took Najee in the first round. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know Najee looks rough, but so does Jalen Warren. Obviously, Jalen Warren leads the league in receiving yards per running backs. That's fine. He's done well in passing situations when he's asked to pick up defenders on the blitz. But I just don't see a situation, even though he hasn't played well, where Mike Tomlin goes away from Najee.
Right.
I don't.
Real quick, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but Brian, thanks for coming into the stream. Appreciate you. Thanks for the sub.
We appreciate you guys. Any subs? You know what I mean? Yards per is growing as well. Keep subscribing here. It's a blowing up community. We appreciate it. But no, I do not think Najee will ever lose his job completely. No.
So yeah.
One flex, one QB. I got offered AJ Brown for Puka and Kyron Williams. Yep. Go get a stud.
Go
Go
get
get it.
AJ Brown. 100%.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Need to pick one full PPR, A Shane or Jerome Ford. Eee. AFC North matchup, AFC East matchup. You're playing the Ravens. This comes down to I'd rather play the worst defense in this situation, which is going to be the Ravens, even though they're pretty good. They suck against the pass, but
Both
they're
are great, man.
great up front. Dude, by the way, Roquan Smith is a beast. Absolute beast.
Right.
Then you come down to the question, you want the better offense? Because that's obviously Miami. I think I'm going Jerome Ford.
That's such a toss-up for me. I'll just ride with you on this one. Real quick, just to highlight Aiden down here. Thanks for the $1.99. Appreciate you, brother. He had a trade for us. It's oh my Lord, have mercy. It's a doozy too. You got
Hold on. Yeah, we got a highlight. Thank you. We appreciate the highlight. W, Jay Jettis, Kyron, DJ Moore, Kenneth Walker III for Diggs, Saquon. Hold on.
We're talking about first of all, it's a 4 for 3, so let's keep that in mind.
We're talking about Kenneth Walker III. By the way, Zach Charbonnet. Don't want to get into it, by the way. Sorry. Yeah, Jay Jettis. Anytime you get a chance to get Jay Jettis, on top of the fact that you're getting a top 5 running back in Kenneth Walker. Love Diggs. Love him. Saquon not being healthy hurts. I love Bijan, obviously. But yeah, give me Jay Jettis. Best player in this trade. No question. On top of getting a top 5 running back in Kenneth Walker.
We got a couple more donations here.
Yeah.
If you want to run through these.
Yeah, let's do these. B, need 2 for PPR, Addison Pickens or Zay Flowers. Matchup base, I want everything to do with the number 1 passing team in the league. Obviously, Kirk Cousins leads the league in passing yards. Give me Addison.
100% Addison. I was going to let him finish, but Addison for sure.
Yeah, it's the first 2 for me. It's Addison and Pickens.
Yeah, Zay Flowers scares me. That matchup is tough against the Browns. I would avoid it if given the opportunity. So, yeah, for sure, Addison Pickens for me. And that's given that Pickett hasn't been the greatest this year, but if I'm not worried about Zay Flowers this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then David.
Got one more highlight. Yep.
Thank you, David. That's huge.
Huge. Appreciate it. Kyron Williams and Brandon Ayuk for Raheem Mostert and Jerry Jeudy. I think Judy's going to come on strong as the alpha. Risky, I know. Raheem Mostert and Jerry Jeudy, Ayuk, Kyron Williams.
I think Judy's coming on strong as the alpha. Risky, I know.
Yeah, Judy being hurt to start has really slowed him down early. Obviously, Marvin Mims, even in limited target capacity, has come on to a huge role. I think he's got 4 or 5 of the top 10 explosive plays for the Broncos offense this year. He's an explosive player. Sutton looks good. I do expect Judy, who in my opinion is the best route runner and separator in the wide receiver core, to expand his role. I'm actually going to lean the Mostert side and Jerry Jeudy here.
Yeah, it's to be honest with me, to be honest with you, I think it's a pretty dead even trade. The more I think about it, the more you break it down. But I think if you believe in Jerry Jeudy and you think he's going to be that guy, then I think go get your guys. I'm huge on that. Yeah. I think it's about an even trade, if we're being quite honest. So I don't hate the trade for you. Mostert's definitely going to be the better running back going forward.
Let's get back here. With Jimmy G out, should I start Jacobs or do I start Pacheco? Jets are tough against the run too, man. Remember that. If Pacheco is going to have extreme relevancy, it's going to be getting in the end zone. I still have to start my stud here. I still have to start Jacobs.
Yeah, I think you start Jacobs too, especially with the quarterback coming out. I mean, you never know how many dump offs Jacobs is going to get. If anything, they might kind of try to push more towards the run in this game, given, I mean, you got Devontae Adams is a huge distraction. The quarterback probably hasn't seen the light anything past of a few snaps in preseason. So I think you still start Josh Jacobs, despite him being very inefficient compared to last year.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to give a shout out to one of my coworkers. He said I better get some good tips this week. We play in a huge work league. He's got a pretty solid team on his front, so looking forward to you get to watch my videos whenever you want, but looking forward to seeing you in the playoffs, buddy.
Love it.
Lamar, Mondre, Rashad, Olave, Keenan, Kelsey, Evans. Do we like 2-2 over Evans this week in the flex? Shadowed by Lattimore has me spooked. Like I said, bud, it's a notorious week. It's Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore, buddy. But I'll be honest with you. Now, granted, 2-2 earned a huge role last week. Looked very good. Very good. I still can't start him over Mike Evans. Mike Evans is wide receiver 5 on the year. I can't do it. It's got to be Evans. It's got to be. And again, if this is the game where they, hey, they don't fight and they don't get kicked out 5 minutes into the game and he explodes, it's Evans.
Yeah. First of all, looking at the team, Lamar, Keenan, Olave, Kelsey. I think with those guys, you can kind of sweat out Mike Evans in the situation. I'm a big Mike Evans guy. I've been preaching him all year. He's been drafted low all season, so I'm all about Mike Evans. I'm not going to sit him against Lattimore. I know that's scary because, I mean, there is a chance he does get booed out of this game. It's happened in the past, but I'm not fully sold on 2-2, especially Cup's back this week, right?
Who?
Cup.
No. Cup's not playing. Cup's not. He said week 5.
Oh, okay.
Cup might not be back till week 7 anyway. I told you. I want nothing to do with Cup.
Makes it a little bit closer, but I still think I lean Evans.
God needs a running back. I have Cook and Josh Jacobs, and he'll give me Garrett Wilson. Oh, man. Only if can you imagine what Garrett Wilson would be going for if Aaron Rodgers was still on the field? I'm honestly not trading Jacobs in the same boat. If you want Wilson, it's Jacobs. I'm not trading James Cook.
Who should I give up? Oh, between Cook and Jacobs, James Cook.
I'm not giving up Cook. I like what I see from Cook.
You'd rather give up Josh Jacobs for? Yep. I mean, I think probably hold him. Man, dude,
I'm giving up.
It's so weird having to make the adjustment because I was so in on Garrett Wilson going into the season.
Yeah, but you didn't expect Aaron Rodgers.
It breaks my heart, dude. 4 plays in that Aaron Rodgers goes down. And now I have to look at Garrett Wilson as like the same as I did last year. And it hurts me.
Yeah, man, honestly, if you don't have to make this trade, I wouldn't trade either one. And Josh Jacobs is struggling. And I know we all remember the Garrett Wilson touchdown catch, where he absolutely bodied the DB and against at Buffalo or in New York, but against Buffalo. I'm telling you, man, Zach Wilson is not it. I don't care if Trevor Siemian is going to be your savior this year. I wouldn't trade either one. If I had to, it'd be Jacobs.
I don't know about trade one. I hate Zach Wilson.
A-Shane or Gabe Davis?
A-Shane. Don't care.
Yep. I agree.
Don't care. Gabe Davis is way too boom busty for me. I ride A-Shane on the hot hand.
Me too.
Yeah. Especially in the half PPR.
What order would you put these guys? These wide receivers? Myers, Kirk, Addison. Is Mark Andrews worth a flex over these guys? Yes, Mark Andrews is worth a flex. Even though I talked about how Mark Andrews hasn't had a 10-point fantasy points per game or a 10-point fantasy game against the Browns in 2 years. Yes. So if I had to rank it, it's Addison, Kirk, Jacoby, Myers for me.
Same order. Yep. Addison, Kirk. Myers, but I think I wish it would like. If you're still here, is it tight end premium by any chance, or is it just regular scoring? If it's tight end premium, I think you absolutely throw Mark Andrews in there.
Yeah.
If not, I kind of still think I'd in a flex. No, I'd start Andrews over him. I think it's really
Yeah, you start
close
Andrews
with.
over
I think
Andrews.
it's really close with Jordan Addison, personally. But I think Mark Andrews throw him in this slot. Yeah.
All right. So I just want to knock out a couple more from my Twitter, Ryan.
Yep.
Standard scoring, no PPR. Flex spot, Khalil Herbert, Sutton, Warren, or Elijah Moore. For me, it's pretty easy. Relatively, I'm going to be go Sutton here.
I miss half the list. I'll be honest with you. It's easier for
Khalil
me to see
Herbert,
it. Khalil Herbert. Okay.
Sutton,
Okay.
Jalen Warren, Elijah Moore.
Yeah. Start Sutton. Yeah.
All right.
That was one of the first easy ones we got all night. Thank you,
Yeah.
whoever that was.
Another trade. Would you trade Pollard, AJ Brown, Jalen Warren? Yeah. First two heavy hitters. You
Jesus.
get Bijan, Amari Cooper, and Pacheco. I'm keeping Pollard and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to keep Pollard and
Yeah.
AJ Brown.
Damn, that's a crazy trade though.
Wow. This is a fun one here. Tua or Kirk Cousins? Wow.
Good Lord, have mercy.
That's so much fun. That's a lot of fun. Oh my. At Carolina, who's good against the pass too. At Buffalo. Oh my God.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So really what it is like, this is how I look at it. And it's tough. I think I lean Tua on this, but it's very close. We've said it all podcast. If the Dolphins can win this game, it's going to be through the air. I expect Tua to throw the ball a ton. But it's so hard to say that when you have
Because
Kirk
we're
Cousins.
talking about my man who has not had under 44 passing attempts.
Right. That's what I was going to say. They're in the
But we're
highest
also-
volume offense.
But we're
for
also
the
talking
Pats.
about the most turnover
Right.
happy football team in the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah.
The most
I think
efficient offense, the most efficient offense is, is the Dolphins.
Right.
I have Tua as infamous MVP candidate, a dark horse candidate. I said it all year. I got to go Tua.
Yeah, I'm going to. I think it closer than it should be, but give me two. I think they're gonna if they win this game, which I know damn well they want to win this game. It'll be through the air with Tua and Waddle is back with Hill. I mean, it's an insane functioning offense. Give me Tua.
Najee or Rashad White?
Oh my fucking god! It's like a nightmare question for me.
I'm gonna go Najee. I hate the matchup with New Orleans on the road. I hate it. I'm gonna go Najee here. I'm gonna go Najee.
I'm putting myself in a mindset of owning Najee, and I think I want to sit him at all costs. To be honest with you,
I'm going Najee here.
Sure, why not?
All right. Would you trade Jalen Warren and Deontay Johnson to receive Alexander Madison and Ingram? Even though Deontay is on the IR, no, I'm not. I have not been impressed with Alexander Madison at all.
Oh, Madison. Okay, I misheard you.
Yeah, it's Warren and Deontay to receive Madison and Evan Ingram. Freiermuth and Kincaid are my tight ends. Not worried about Freiermuth at all. Finally got going last week.
No.
Yeah, I'm not making that trade. Alexander Madison is a guy I said to avoid all offseason. I'm good.
Yep. We're one of the only two pushing the narrative against Madison, man. It's a damn shame.
Yep, I'm good on that.
Yeah, no, I don't. Especially trading for him.
Have to drop one. Dotson, Gabe. Hunter Henry. Shoot, man. I had Dotson pegged as a breakout too. Whew. It's been rough. It's
It
been
has
rough
been
here.
rough.
And he's playing Philly. Oh man,
We're
I'm gonna be
talking.
honest with
We're
you.
talking
Hunter Henry.
drop. He's
I'm
going
gonna be
into
honest with you.
waivers.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Hunter Henry is outperforming Evan Ingram anyway. I'm not. Hunter Henry for me is not droppable on this list. To be honest with you, I'm starting Henry over Ingram regardless.
Wow. Wow.
Um, Dotson or Gabe Davis.
This is a real stumper. As much as I love Dodson, quarterback play is not there so
And
far.
Gabe Davis has scored twice in back. He scored in back to back weeks. Yeah, I nope.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't want to drop. I don't want to drop Dotson because this is going to come back. Can come back and bite you in the ass at any time.
Right.
I mean, you saw his play last year, especially even though he missed 5 games. He was explosive. He was a guy that Wentz / Howe leaned on. Yeah, it's got to be. Gabe Davis looks better than Dotson at this current moment. If you have to
Yeah.
drop one,
Yeah, I think you take the better of the offenses, and that's absolutely the Bills. And then Andrew, last question of the night. Oh, you got just
now
snuck another
we
one
got
in.
2
So
more questions. I'm
we'll
going to
take
ask.
these last two.
Yep,
Call tonight.
non PPR Connor or Kyron. Connor,
Connor for
even
me.
though
I
I
know
hate the
Kyron's
matchup.
had a good first 2 games, but he's so vital to this Cardinals. I think he's the heart of this Cardinals offense,
He
to be
is the
honest with
heart.
you.
He is.
So give me James Conner. Dobbs no longer an option.
And I absolutely hate the matchup in San Fran. I really do. I hate it, but it's Connor for me. I'm in a 3 flex league, and I'm trying to decide who to start. My options are Derrick Henry, Zach Moss, Jerry Judy, B. Rob, Romeo Dobbs, and James Conner.
Need 3.
Well, Dobbs played on Thursday, so I'm assuming Dobbs can't. Yeah, obviously
Yeah,
Dobbs.
Dobbs not an option. Yeah, you said that.
Judy is one for me. I want every part of this Browns. Or I want every part of this Broncos Bears game.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
Broncos. Yeah, I want Judy. Philly, I think Robinson is a sit here. I really do. Although, he is a guy who's getting a lot of work. And I be honest with you, I had Antonio Gibson coming in as a guy to kind of alleviate some of that and play a big role, and that hasn't happened. Philly is tough up front, man. That is a tough matchup here. He doesn't have a lot of receiving work. I think B Rob has to be sit this week.
For me, it's quite honestly just to hash this out. It's just the first 3 for me.
Henry, yes. Henry, you have to start no matter
Henry,
what.
Moss, and Judy. As far as I go, I don't love sitting James Conner, but in a matchup against the 49ers, I think if you have the option to sit him, it might be this week because it could get ugly quick.
Anthony Richardson is back. Anthony Richardson is playing. I expect there to be more scoring in this. Moss, Connor, and Henry. I have Henry and Judy, and I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to take the heart and soul here. I'm going to go Henry, Judy, and I'm going to go James Conner.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I get it heart and soul, but I don't know. I know they upset the Cowboys last week, but the 49ers are a whole different monster.
Yeah, and Zach Moss does look good, man. It's tough. The Rams, they're middle of the pack against the run. Moss, Connor, Henry. Yeah, so me and you agree on Connor and Henry. I personally I'm going to switch Judy and Moss. Like I said, it's been limited for
Judy
him
and Connor.
early. Yeah, I'm gonna switch. Yeah. I'm gonna switch it.
That's fine. They're listening to one of us. Sorry to have a split decision. There's been very few of those tonight, so I'm sorry, Michael.
Yeah, give me, like I said, I think I want all the parts of this Broncos-Bears game, all parts of it when it comes to the Broncos side of things. But, Ryan, on that note, I'm honest with you. It was a phenomenal start-sit show. Phenomenal start-sit. We appreciate all of it. I mean, Twitter the chat, and I mean, everybody that's been here, we appreciate you guys. You guys are the reason we do this. You are
Everything.
Coach
Everything.
Bruce and Brett. Great. Alex and them are live now at 9:45 Eastern. Awesome. It was a great in between. Good luck in your fantasy weeks, League 4. If you need a win, I hope these decisions help.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
Obviously, remember this. We are willing to eat the wrong takes. Everything we are willing to stand by. But
Yep.
remember, we're not always right.
Not always right. Big
So,
thing to remember. Big
um,
shout out to Cy, Aiden, Vi, and David, all for the donations. We appreciate you. Love the
yes.
support. We hope to see you in future streams.
Yep.
And yeah, I had a blast. Thank you everybody that was here to submit questions. Like Steven said, I mean, and I've said previously in the show, listen, this is our first big show on this YouTube channel. It's the first time you're seeing two of us. If we get a take wrong, come back, give us a second chance. And if we're wrong twice, then you can go elsewhere.
Yeah, remember, man, the best of the best, they get it wrong too. So,
Right. Absolutely.
if you are here, Twitters are here. Well, yeah, I'm pointing at. Twitters are there. Follow us on Twitter, Yards Per. Obviously, you follow them on YouTube. Follow them on Twitter. Both are growing exponentially. Also, you can find our work at RPO. Thank you guys for the platform. You guys are the reason we do this. And on that note, we are out.